Hello, welcome to the second video on this YouTube site called A Little Bite of Honey. Um, Basically what we're going to get into now, and it's only going to be a short video again, in keeping with the site the site theme. We're going to discuss a passage that from the rod for a few minutes, and it has to do particularly coming out of track 4. So from track 4, page found on page 54 or 55. But it's a track that some people, some Davidians seem to be interpreting in the wrong way, or in a different way. Anyways, I'm not going to say if it's wrong or not, perhaps. But I think that it's misused, and it'll become apparent. But this video, like I said, the information on the video here is just given for general information. When you're, as always, when you're going to be going over the information in detail, prayer is necessary because that's what it's all about. We need the Lord to help us to understand these things. Okay, so just to get in, I'm going to read off my computer screen, my other computer screen here. But just to get into, I'll read the quote. It says, "The Seventh-day Adventist denomination, however, has long professed to believe in the spirit of prophecy, particularly in that special message which in the latter part of the last century made clear that the angel of Revelation 18, who is to lighten the earth with his glory, was still in the future." Early Writings, page 277. And that the prophet Elijah's message was yet to come. Testimonies to Ministers, page 475. And as I said, it's on, can be found in track 4, page somewhere around page 54, 55. Now, there are folks that are, when they read this passage, they basically are saying that Brother Hardif is saying this is applying to the 20th century when they see the word last century. There are a few questions that we will have to ask if we're going to say that this is the 20th century. The first question would be, how could the SDA denomination profess to believe particularly in a message, a special message, that they were not yet given? Because remember what the passage is saying. It says that the SDA denomination has long professed in the spirit of prophecy, particularly in that special message, which in the latter part of the last century makes clear that the angel of Revelation 18 is to lighten the earth with his glory. What we're getting into here is that the word last is being interpreted, reinterpreted, however that may be, to say that it is the 20th century. But if we're going to say that this passage is referring to the 20th century, it doesn't seem to make much sense, because what special message has the Adventist Church accepted in the 20th century? The question is, can we not see that from the passage under examination that what is particularly believed in was that Elijah's message was yet to come in the future? That's clear that they're speaking to, as far as I can understand, it seems to me that they're speaking about Ellen White's, that Brother Hart is speaking about Ellen White's, part of Ellen White's message here, that she was given in the last century, from the century that he wrote this passage in. He wrote it in the 20th century, and so he was pointing to the 19th century, in the 1800s. And of course, that's when Ellen White actually did her work, most of her work. And so it is just that simple. that passage needs to be clearly needs to be examined. Clearly needs to be examined to see exactly what the word last. I think we're misusing the word last there. The word last has many more than just one interpretation in English language. So I invite you, if you're thinking that it's applying to the 20th century, to pick up a dictionary and see all the possible meanings of the word last, because it doesn't really, this passage doesn't really make sense. And to use it to say that prophet Elijah was to come in the 20th century, and that is what this passage is referring to. I mean, it's quite clear that it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, and it's something that could be easily understood if it was studied carefully with prayer. I mean, it's quite obvious that it doesn't have any reference to the Adventist Church at all, if we're going to accept that as the 20th century. So hopefully that's a little helpful. That's something that you know is easy to understand, quite easy. But you see, if we're tied up with having to justify somebody as being a special prophet today, and they're using this passage in that way to say it's the 20th century. While it is clear, if we're emotionally tied up, wrapped up in, we would be blind and unable to see. Hopefully that helps. As I said, we all have things that we have to adjust as we move down the road to the kingdom, and that is definitely one of them. So thank you very much, and inviting any questions, comments, whatever the case may be on the passage. It's quite simple. Tell me what you find. A simple look in the dictionary will show you that the word last does not necessarily mean um, always the last or the end. It can sometimes mean, as we say, last night, or something of that order. But if you look in the dictionary, I'm sure you'd find that there's more than one use of the word last. And given the context of the passage, it should be quite easy to see. So thank you very much, and hope you have a great day.